This is the Eagles Checkdown, right here on the Eagles Pinpull Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Beard A Knowledge. This is the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, and I've got some things to talk about today. It is Thursday. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween. You can't argue with me. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the best Halloween candy. And it's extra special when you go trick-or-treating. They're giving out the big candy bars. That's not scary at all. That's actually fantastic. But what is not scary also is the fact that the Eagles have found their identity, especially on offense, and it's running the ball. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk a little bit about the running game. We're going to talk a little bit here and there. We're going to talk about the Eagles practice report and a few initial stats that I've looked into on the Jacksonville Jaguars, our opponent this upcoming week. So let's dive right into it. First and foremost, there are 5 teams in the NFL that are running the football more than 55 or 50% of the time. The Washington Commanders, who are 6-2, the Detroit Lions, who are 6-1, the Jaguars, who are 5-3, the Steelers at 54% at 6-2, and leading the league in running the football percentage-wise is the Philadelphia Eagles at 55%, and they're 5-2. Other teams right around that 50% mark: Buffalo, KC, the Chargers, Green Bay, Minnesota, San Francisco, all winning teams, and they're all at 50% or more. So I think we're kind of in a renaissance in the NFL where teams aren't afraid to run the football anymore. And the Eagles and all the teams that are winning games on a regular basis are doing it by running the football. A lot of those teams, Steelers, Ravens, even the Eagles to an extent, are also doing it with defense. That's the Eagles' identity: running the football and smash mouth defense. I saw my man Anthony DeBona, PFN and PSN reporter, and he put out something interesting. He went week by week on the Eagles' opening drives. Week 1, 2 passes, 1 rush. Saquon Barkley only touched the ball once. Week 2, 3 passes, 2 rushes. No Barkley touches. Week 3, 2 passes, 1 rush. No Barkley touches, and blah, blah, blah. It's the same story right through week 7. Minimal touches for Saquon Barkley early, more passes than rushes. In last week's game, week 8, 4 passes, 5 rushes, 4 touches for Saquon Barkley, and that's the first time we actually scored on our opening drive all year. Go figure. Is that a surprise to anybody? I don't think it is. Running the football, getting Saquon Barkley into the game quickly and early. I know we run the ball a lot. I know Saquon Barkley's touching the ball a lot more than we expect it with the way the Eagles do things. But it's getting him involved early that's still a problem. And last week they did, and you see why the results were what they were. Little interesting thing, and I don't think it's blowing up like it should. Brian Baldinger, he does his Baldy breakdowns. And he was doing a breakdown of the Eagles using play action pass on Sunday against the Bengals and how effective it was. And he talked about how the wide receivers and the offensive line love it so much. And a random person, I don't know who this person is, Corey, commented and asked him why didn't they use it for the first 7 games of the season. And Brian Baldinger responded, "A few of the guys were tired of the offense and spoke up." That is his quote exactly. A few guys were tired of the offense and spoke up. We know Brian Baldinger. He's close with quite a few Eagles, especially Lane Johnson. Not sure why that's not blowing up a little bit more, that comment from him, that tweet. But it tells me that the veterans, the leaders on this team, are in communication with Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, on what they think should be done and what shouldn't be done. And it's something to monitor going forward, that maybe we see more Kellen Moore in control of the offense early on, whereas he really didn't have control of the offense until the second half of the games for the most part so far. Obviously, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. The first practice report of the week was out. The 4 guys did not practice this week in the first practice on Wednesday. Jalen Carter with a shoulder, Landon Dickerson knee. I don't expect them to be big deals. Dallas Goedert's hamstring did not practice, although he's plenty of time to post TikToks of his Halloween costume. And Darius Slay's groin did not practice. I'm not sure what to expect with Dallas Goedert and Darius Slay yet. There was some rumors that Dallas Goedert looked spry in the locker room. Darius Slay, I expect to miss time, and I'm just not sure what's going on there. Mekhi Becton did practice limitedly. He's obviously been missing time with a concussion. That bodes well to him being possibly cleared for Sunday against Jacksonville. Although there is an argument to be made that Tyler Steen has earned the right to be the starting right guard at this point. He is the younger drafted investment of the Eagles. Alberto also did practice fully. Maybe he will get activated this upcoming week if Dallas Goedert is not ready to play this week, which I don't know. At this point, I just don't know. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who was our opponent this week, they are 2-6. Some little random notes and tidbits from them. Their run game is actually really solid. Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, who did practice limitedly this week, so might be trending to play. They're averaging over 5 yards a carry this year on the ground. They've got almost 1,000 yards rushing. Even though they played 8 games and they're 2-6, they got almost 1,000 yards rushing so far on the season. Trevor Lawrence has been the problem offensively, barely completing over 62% of his passes, a little over 225 passing yards per game, only 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Christian Kirk is out for the year, so that's one wide receiver weapon out for them. Brian Thomas did practice limitedly for the Jaguars this week. Originally, it seemed like he'd be missing a few weeks. He might be back. I'm super excited if he does play for the Brian Thomas versus Quinion Mitchell matchup on Sunday. Some other names, defensively speaking, Trayvon Walker leads the team in sacks. He was a top draft pick a few years ago. He's got 6.5 sacks. Devin Lloyd, linebacker, someone the Eagles fans wanted a few years ago in 2022, even though we don't draft linebackers, is on the team. They only have 2 interceptions as a defense as a whole and only 17 sacks as a whole. They're losing time of possession regularly week in and week out. They are a -5 in the turnover ratio differential. They don't create turnovers. They don't turn it over a lot. But just like the Eagles used to, they also don't create a lot of turnovers. The defense is giving up close to 30 points a game. So this is shaping up to be a game where the Eagles offense can put up some points. And if they can control the run game of the Jaguars, which is something that we have to think about whether they can or not, it's shaping up to be one of those games. And I've hinted at it on my morning show, Trend in the AM, where this could be Doug Peterson's last game coaching in Jacksonville this week. Kelly Green in Philly, going out there, and if the Eagles do what they need to do and dominate the game, it could be it for him going forward. But anyway, guys, this is the Eagles Checkdown right here on the Eagles Pinpoll Podcast Network. For the more elongated form, there's a link in the description. Copy and paste it over to YouTube. Set the Trends, STT Sports Network. It's my morning network. It's my network with my morning show trending in the AM, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, the only show where your opinions actually matter. I'd greatly appreciate you tuning in, checking it out, and, of course, hitting that subscribe button and giving me your thoughts on the Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, whatever you want to talk about. We talk it all on that show. But, guys, I am Phil Stifle. This is the Eagles Checkdown. Go Birds, and bubbles up to you.